Hey, hey, and welcome to Tennessee Football Breakdown with Billy Ratliff. As always, I'm Starla, and we're going to talk about our annual beatdown of Kentucky, otherwise known as Kensucky. And I hope I don't offend any Kentucky fans with that. But if you're a Kentucky fan, you're probably not watching or listening to this. So, beatdown may be a little bit of an exaggeration, 33-27. It looked like we were going to run away with it at the beginning. We had them to 2, 3 and outs, and we scored. I think we scored on our first drive, right? I
Yes.
think, yeah. Um, so what did you see, offense and defense?
Offensively, I think we did what I thought we was gonna do. Try to run the ball, and we did a good job. With exception of some of the penalties. And it sucks. They're still doing it to us, and it's just so one-sided. I don't understand it. I'm like back-to-back weekends that the team does not get penalized during the game.
Yeah,
Any game play, you mean to tell me that you couldn't call one holding call all game? I was very surprised that, especially, with Kentucky being one of the highest penalized teams in the conference.
yeah. No live ball penalties again.
None. I mean, it's that's like you can't tell me all of a sudden these teams become that disciplined
Yeah,
where they are that great because a team that's that disciplined typically wins the game. And they did everything they could possibly to keep Kentucky in the game.
yeah.
I went to the game this weekend. I got a chance to, experience it from a fan standpoint. And it was, actually, to have what they was telling me was nosebleed seats. I had a great view for the game. I'm like, okay, this is not what you call nosebleed. You guys come to Knoxville
Right.
and you go up there, you realize what nosebleed really is.
Yeah.
But I mean, it was a great atmosphere. I mean, I was there before the game started, and I saw some things that just it bored my blood. It bored my blood. And
So
I'm
are
quite
you talking
sure
about?
yes,
Yeah,
because when the Kentucky players were in front of the
yeah.
introduction of the volunteers, oh God, oh Jesus, Jesus, Jesus. When I say And the thing is, I'm glad I wasn't really drinking or doing anything like that. I was just there with some friends of my wife, and it was fun because they held me back. Because I was like, did I just see what I think I saw? And they said, yes, I think you did. The guys were interfering with our introduction. Oh
Hmm.
man, Starla, you talking about? Oh man, I think my inner Al Wilson was coming. Ah, that would have been the beginning of the game. That game would have been over before it started because somebody would have took a beat down, ran through them. Hey, what you gonna do to me? I mean, you're not supposed to be here. You know which way the team is coming.
Hmm.
Respectfully get out the way. I understand the taunting or whatever, but get out the way. Give them room to run through.
Yeah.
I blame the coach for that. Um,
Yeah, the video came out, afterwards, and I was like, did they really? And I think that little Barry and Brown guy may have been one that was jawing the most. He was from Tennessee, and I saw he came out and said something. Oh, well, Tennessee fans don't like me because I picked Kentucky. I mean, yeah, but like it's no, like we're okay. We're okay without you, bud. So yeah, I don't know. I was shocked that they did that, and I think you're right. That is on coaching. That's just not a good look at all.
and of course, I mean, I didn't take it there. I was just like, you know what? It is what it is. Let's
Hmm.
just go play ball. Let's beat them and have a good time back going home. And I think we did a good job of what we were supposed to do.
Hmm.
We didn't give up. We gave up some, but we didn't give up the big plays like we normally do on defense when we are struggling and we let them score. Now the refs helped them out a lot. They helped them out a lot. They kept them in the game, and it sucks. I mean, the SEC officials going to have to do something. They're going to do some investigating or give us some, ACC refs or something. Someone that's not gonna like. be biased, because truly think that someone do not like my volunteers that's in the SEC office.
Wow. Someone told me, and I have no idea if this is true or not. Someone told me that a lot of refs are lawyers, that they do that to make extra money. I don't know if that's true or not. Just somebody told me that one time.
Well, most of these guys that are refs are typically doing it as a hobby. They enjoy it. I mean, the money is good for a side job. I mean, yeah, for a side job, yes, it is good money.
Yeah.
But most of these guys are, are professionals in their fields, and typically they don't need the money.
Mm-hmm.
It's an extra benefit to them, and that's what kind of mess just blows my mind, that the calls that they're missing, and even the reviewing. I'm like, what the heck is this?
I kind of think we may have benefited from a bad call. I may be the only one that thinks that, but I don't know that Ramel Keaton catch was a catch. I'm glad they called it a catch, but I'm not entirely sure they got that one right.
I think that was more of a makeup call,
Hmm.
because you're truly right. That was not a catch. Uh,
Yeah.
I must go ahead and start off with Joe. Joe did a good job. I mean, he didn't make any mistakes. I mean, you're talking about, I think it was like 18 of 21,
Hmm.
and that goes to show you, I mean, if we're efficiently doing what we're supposed to do offensively, it's kind of hard to stop the offense. The only thing that's going to stop us is ourselves, that we beat ourselves and step on our own feet, or the referees do what they've been doing. We ran the ball well.
Hmm.
Everybody had a great game that touched the ball, that ran the ball. You're talking about Jalen did good, Dylan did good, Jabari, all of them. And Joe, he ran it when he had to.
Hmm.
Um, our receivers, they're still not doing what we want. We hoping they do is make the big plays,
Yeah.
create some separation. And I watched this game 3 times already. We're still not getting off the line of scrimmage. I mean, even when we're doing crossing routes, it's like we're doing, the karaoke drill. We like shuffling. I'm like, what the heck are you guys doing? We got to get up the field. I want to see some pushing off like they're doing to us.
Yeah.
Because, gosh, now I got to switch over to defense. I have to switch over to defense because, oh my gosh, we made Devin look like he was the Heisman #1 candidate.
Yeah.
And of course, I'm not going to say that, we lost someone in the
Hadden.
DBs,
Yeah.
but one player don't make up for almost 400 yards pass.
Yeah.
When I saw that stat, I was like, no way. He had that many yards? Wow. I'm like, what did I miss? And when I went back and watched it, yeah, you're talking about, a 30-yard catch here, 20, 30, 20. It adds up real fast because everybody that caught the ball for Kentucky had a long catch or a long run.
Hmm.
I'm like, come on, guys, that's something that we got to cut down. That is what's been killing us all season, is the yards after the catch or the big run. Um, because gosh, they're not that good. Kentucky is not as good as those stats show right there. No, they're not that good.
I think Devin Leary was around 50% and leads the SEC in interceptions before this game. So,
Exactly.
yeah.
He you can't tell me he's that. I mean, it may be that, because we was missing someone, but I still think it was still mentally that we're not making the tackles. We're not wrapping up. I mean, and it sucks for the defense because truly we don't know how to tackle anybody anymore, because you don't know if they're going to call it targeting or whatever. I mean, and it sucks because I've saw a lot of things this weekend that just questioning I mean, any referees motives, because they are calling targeting for something that you would literally say, why didn't he hit him this way?
Hmm.
Why didn't he do that? And now they're using other things. Well, he should have wrapped up or he did this. No, he did a perfect tackle.
I saw one play and I cannot think of who it was now, but I mean, he went in with his shoulder and like their heads barely touched, and the kid got thrown out of the game.
It was Colorado, Sanders kid.
Oh, yeah.
Um, that was textbook. There's no other way he could have did anything without. And if he would have wrapped up, I'm quite sure they would have called. It would have truly been targeting because if he wraps up, his head is going to go down.
Mm-hmm.
So he did the best thing he do. He moved his head and used his shoulder, and it was just a hard hit.
Yeah.
And that's why they called it because he hit him hard. And it sucks that they went and reviewed that and they still called it targeting.
Yeah. So like you said, Joe went 18 for 21. Three incompletions. I think one was a little high. We didn't really have a problem with drop balls this week. That was really happy with that. Dante Thornton had three catches, according to the commentators, his first catch in over a month. So do you think he is figuring it out, Dante Thornton?
I think DT is going to be okay. It's just the reps, getting them the ball and letting them get comfortable with the ball. It's been a long time since he really been a quality receiver. I'm talking about high school, really. And it's time for all of those guys to break out, though. It is. This their time. They can't wait. It's the middle of the season. We should have someone that's already stepped up that we can say he's the next playmaker. We're waiting on Squirrel to really, but Squirrel can't do it all himself because they're going to put someone over the top of him, make sure he don't beat them. They're going to make someone else have to step up. Coming across the middle is another deep threat. Surely we have other guys with the exact speed or faster. And I know we do. I've seen it.
Um, Squirrel had five catches for 47 yards. Every week, and he's had some good plays, but every week I wait on Keaton to really go off, like really go off. I don't really understand why he's not. Is it route running? Um,
It's exactly what you said. It's the route running. The guys are not getting off the line of scrimmage. If you just watch, like for instance, this coming up weekend, Connecticut, they have a couple of good corners. They have some good corners. Um, Defensively, this probably gonna be a challenge. And it sucks because this is homecoming and we're expecting to blow them out, which we probably will when it comes second half.
mhm.
But this team is a pretty good defensively team, and I'm surprised that their record is what it is. And if you look at the scores, they've kept every game close except for one.
Wow. Well, what is the spread? It's like 35, right? Is
It
that right?
should it should be 100.
Yeah.
um, we got to get Nico in this week. That's
Yeah.
third string or somebody, and we got to get someone else in because we got the second half of the SEC where we got to win them all. We
Mm,
got to win them all, and we can't have any injuries, especially to UConn. Yes, we need to beat them, but we don't want to keep our starters in the whole game.
hmm he talked about Rod a little bit. 11 carries, 120 yards, a touchdown, 10.9 average. Dylan Sampson, my guy. I mean, he had some big plays and scored what, ended up putting the game away there at the end. I love him. He's my favorite player on the team. So he's only a sophomore too, right? Is he a
Yeah,
sophomore? Yeah.
yes. We're loaded at running back. That's the one position I'm not worried about. I think we're going to continue to get running backs come to the university. Receivers will start coming. The only problem I have is we got to start getting these offensive linemen in. That's what we're missing, and that's where we're struggling at because if we had an offensive line that we could truly, truly run Hyper's offense the way he truly wants to, and it's not the hurry up offense. I mean, the hurry up offense typically is for teams that don't have a good offensive line. And that's it works. And I wish we would utilize it when we have to.
Mhm.
And utilize what we're doing lately when we do have a 35-point lead.
Yeah.
I'm like, guys, like you do it backwards. Like when we got a 35-point lead, now we still doing a hurry up offense.
Yeah.
Like, come
Yeah.
on, guys. Like, come on, man. Treat it like it's basketball, run the clock out for a
Yeah.
change.
Charles Campbell, 4 for 4. He accounted for 15 points in this game. And 100 straight PATs. That's super, super impressive.
Yes.
Kickers are so, underappreciated, I feel like. Just from a fan standpoint, I don't know how it is being a player, but you don't hear that much about them, but you hear about them if they miss a field goal to win a game, so that kid, that was a great pickup by our staff.
Well, I will have to give it to him. Like me, I probably would have gave him the game ball this past week just because, it's not as easy as it looks.
Yeah.
I've tried this. I've tried to kick an extra point and miss them consistently.
Hmm.
And you're talking about 4 for 4. And I think he had like a 47 yarder.
49.
This is not easy and had an extra 15, 20 yards behind it.
Yeah.
So yes, I love it. That's something that we always stressed with special teams, special teams, special teams. We practice special teams more than we practice our defense and plays in practice. We did.
Hmm.
It was mandatory. And I'm thankful we got a good kicker.
Yes.
I really
Yes.
do, because
Yes.
I think it's going to come down to some big games where we're going to win that game by 1 point. And hopefully he comes in and do what he's been doing.
Hmm. Um, I hate to talk about this again, but red zone woes is what I have written down here because we can't seem to score a touchdown. Great. I'm super glad that we have Charles Campbell, but can we please kick a few less field goals?
Oh gosh. And I'm gonna tell you again, I'm blaming that on our offensive line. If you don't have an offensive line that can just punch it in whenever you want to, it's hard because when you get down there in the goal line situation or the red zone or anything, the field gets shorter for offense that we run. Typically, it's the spread. You get them spread out and you can do all these different things. But when you're not spread out and you're cooped up, it's so much harder for anybody to do anything in the red zone. That goes all the way up to the NFL. It's
Hmm.
harder. It's harder. It's just harder.
So last year we were extremely successful in the red zone. So it's that, Darnell Wright. Who else we lost somebody else off the line that was so good. Who was it? I can't remember.
We had some good. Our offensive line was. I won't say they was great. We had an average offensive line with portion of the line was good. Because with Darnell was over there, that was easier to miss some of the handicaps that we had.
Hmm.
But I still think we just missing the offensive line. Everybody thought that Kevin Mays. The Mays. He was going. I keep calling him Kevin because but he helped out, but he still was not enough to just say that we're back. We can do this. He's back as a leader, vocal leader to help spot things on the line, the blitzes and things like that. He's not that dominant guy that's just going to blow you off the ball. He's the captain of the offensive line. Now,
Hmm.
if you don't have any troops to follow you, it's hard. And I promise you, even go watch Alabama. Alabama have a big offensive line, but they may have the softest offensive line in the conference. Now they're the best holders. They can hold great now,
Hmm.
but they do what they got to do to get in there. And that's what we're missing. That's the part that we're missing. We're not nasty. We're not the guys that they're not punching anybody in the face. They're not doing what we thought they were going to be when we saw the first game when he did what was the kid name that did I call it the blind side because he
Oh, John Campbell.
back, yes, he ran him through the back of the end zone. I was like, oh, we got offensive line. And then the next week it went different. I was like, oh gosh, I thought we had something. And then even this summer, watching them out there, I thought we had a offensive line, but truly it's different when you hit the game field.
Yeah, I think we're gonna have to hit the portal because I don't believe we have. We
Yes.
got some guys, some young guys like Addison Nichols, and there's some of them coming back. But I know, Coop has another year. I don't see him taking it. I think John Campbell has another year, and I don't think he's expected to come back either. So we're definitely gonna have to hit the portal there.
Yeah, we're gonna have to hit the portal. I mean, a junior college or something. We got
Hmm.
to get these guys to come in that's ready to play right away, because we can't do what I call rebuild on the offense line. That's one position you don't want to rebuild. DBs you can rebuild. Linebackers you can rebuild. D line you can rebuild. Offensive line, no, 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 no. Those are guys the only position that's truly out there for the whole game.
Yeah. James Pierce just keeps, I mean, he's drawing extra attention because he's playing so well. Um, I don't think he really had anything that jumps off the page on you number wise this time, but he was back there. He was applying some pressure. I thought Omar Norman Lott had a really good game too. I think he had our only sack, but
Yeah, we were down in sacks. I mean, we was down in tackles for loss. I mean, the
mhm.
pressures were there, but we're gonna do a good job of getting off blocks. These guys are watching film, and they watched the Alabama game. They did. They truly watched the game, and you can truly see how much they're holding these guys, and they're not calling it. And me as a player, when I see that they're doing that to me, that's something that you got to go study now. Go find out what these guys are doing to get their hands off you. Figure out, I mean, because if they're holding me, I'm gonna break your forearm. I'm gonna figure out a way to get that off me, because as a defensive lineman, we're taught to be violent with our hands.
Mhm.
Now, if you're not being violent with your hands, you're dancing, because the offensive line have your hand and you go left, 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 right. So you don't want to be dancing with the guys.
Oh, we shut down Ray Davis. I think he
Yes.
only had like 60 yards. So I was a little worried about that, I'll be honest. Even though we do have a good rush defense, I was worried that he was going to break free on some. And I think his longest run was it wasn't long, like maybe what, 12 yards or something like that.
I wasn't worried about the run. I really wasn't. I truly wasn't worried about that. I wasn't even worried about Kentucky. I am still worried about the referees.
Yeah.
I truly am. Truly worried about the referees. I even went back and watched the Florida game. Exact same thing. The exact same thing. And I'm like, they can't continue to do this on our away games. Like with me, I don't care if it's a home or away game. Refs, just call the game. Do your job. Right is right, wrong is wrong. There's no gray areas when it comes to calls.
So when that's happening and you're on a team, or okay, if that's happening and you're a coach and you've seen it's happening every single week, do you start to bring that up to your players, like so they're more aware, like, hey, watch the like get around them faster? Or is there some kind of skill set where you can avoid like beat them at their own game type of thing?
Yes. I know when I played, man, it didn't even have to get to the coaches. We had, vocal leaders that will, get in your face and say, hey, no, I don't care if he's holding you, do something.
Hmm.
If you're not going to do something, we're going to have to deal with me in practice. They have to understand that if it was me and you have a guy like Al Wilson that's keeping you motivated, you got Darwin Walker, you got Sean Ellis, and if we're not doing our jobs and we know what's going on and we see it on the film, it bet not happen next week. It bet not happen next week. That's just it. I mean, we did the same thing week, week, week after week.
Hmm.
They know that we can get to the quarterback. They're not going to allow us. They're going to hold us now.
Hmm.
Now, the problem to fix that. Our defensive tackles are the guys that have to fix it because they're the closest to the ball. They have to wreak havoc and get in the backfield. Don't worry about nothing else. Just get in the backfield.
Mm-hmm.
They'll stop holding the defensive end then because now you can't hold everybody.
Um, is there anything else you want to talk about with the Kentucky game? I think that's everything I had for it.
Well, I'm just glad that we did what we had to do to make sure Miss Daughter was happy because if we lost that game, I don't think we'd have had this show today.
Oh, I know. I talked so much crap this past week. I'm so glad that I wouldn't have been able to show my face hardly anywhere. So, because I'm up here right by the Kentucky border. I'm like 30 minutes, about 30 miles south of Knoxville. So, yeah, I'm right at the border. So,
As
I'm glad I could come out of my house this week.
well, no, I don't have anything else. I'm just hoping our fans show up and show out this weekend, man, because we're gonna need them. We need to end this game second quarter.
I want to ask you they're honoring Pat Summitt, the GOAT, at this game Saturday. I'm not sure what they're doing during the game, but they're wearing the sleeves and the wristbands and stuff in Summit blue. Did you have any encounters with Pat during your time at Tennessee?
Yes. Pat, I remember Pat coming to speak to us at Tennessee when and I played, and you're talking about the respect we had for this lady, man. I mean, when she entered the building, it was like you can hear a pin drop, because
Mhm.
we've heard all the stories from, the players, like, oh man, she's mean as oh my gosh, she's mean as a snake. I'm like, oh gosh, like, oh, and I mean, we've always heard that. And when she finally walks in, you can see all these giants just kind of like, and when she spoke, you listen.
Hmm.
She was always crisp, like she wanted perfection. And that's what's been missing with our basketball too. Like it's just, I guess I'm so old school. If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah.
Continue what you've been doing. I mean, and you can see it with all of her kids that are coaching elsewhere. They're all doing great.
Hmm.
But Pat, she was just a good person, man. I miss her. Just hearing some of the stories she had to tell. She was always funny. Joking, having a good time.
Yeah.
But she didn't play.
Yeah. That's what I
Yeah.
always heard.
I remember hearing like stories from Shamiqua and all those, and like Ace and Kelly, and I'm like, she did what?
Oh, that 98 year
Oh
football
gosh,
and women's basketball went undefeated. That was crazy.
I did not realize that '98, with the amount of championships we had at Tennessee that year throughout all the sports.
Hmm.
I didn't know that. I just thought that's what we were supposed to do.
Yeah.
I mean, we were spoiled. That was the last time I truly went to watch the women's basketball. I
Hmm.
didn't miss a home game. No, even that whole team, we was always there. We showed up and we showed out. We was loud as I don't know what.
Hmm.
It was just, even when we got, see the other teams they come in to play, we knew some of the ladies, like when La Tech was coming in, it was like, oh, hey, they got the guard that would shake you up and all this.
Yeah.
We knew all those things, and it's just how time has changed when it came. Like, I'd rather watch the ladies play than the men play because they still play basketball. They
Hmm.
still do all the basic fundamentals of basketball. They still
Hmm.
do freaking pick and roll. You don't see that in men's basketball anymore.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Well,
I went play pickup with my son at high school, and all I did was just a drop step and lay up, and they was like, oh, what?
that's funny. I quit playing basketball with my son when he was about 10 because that's when he started beating me. And I'm like, no, we ain't doing this no more. So, but my favorite. it's not really a Pat Summitt story, but just a Lady Vol story. Is I remember playing AAU, and I was probably 14 or 15, maybe. But the Lady Vols were playing UConn, and it was during a tournament, and you couldn't. They had a little TV, one of those little box TVs on the counter of the concession stand. And there was a game going on that we probably should have been watching, but we were both teams, everybody was out in the hallway because the Lady Vols were playing UConn. You just didn't miss that game, during that time. You didn't miss it.
You
So,
never missed the UConn game. That's automatic there. Well, you
yeah.
got to watch that game.
Yeah.
Still, I mean, still a disaster. Do we don't play them anymore like we used to, do we?
We didn't renew the home and home with them this year. Hopefully it'll come back, but yeah, we didn't renew it. So, but I think our ladies are going to be pretty good this year. Hopefully we can get back to Elite Eight, Final Four. We have the talent too. Our men, I don't know if you've watched either of the exhibition games, but get
No,
ready, everybody, please, because we're going to be good.
that's like we can shoot again. I'm like, whoa.
We scored 89 points against number 4 Michigan State. I mean, that is wonderful.
Yes.
Last year, sometimes it was kind of like watching paint dry when we watched our team play. So I love defense, but offense is definitely more fun. So
I'm the same. Like gosh, I'm just glad we're getting back there with everybody is being involved. The sports are getting fun again, and like I can pull out my orange like I used to, and
yeah,
like it. I'm enjoying it. I am enjoying it.
yep. All right. Well, you have anything else to add this week?
That's it. Hey, go balls. Let's go do this.
Go Vols. I'll talk to you next time.
Hi, Stella.
All right.